Hello and welcome to Midweek Connect. My name's Dave Walker. I'm the pastor of Elim Church, Romsey, and it's another video to encourage you and to connect with you. I want to speak candidly and very honestly to the whole church at the moment. So if you are a member of Elim Church, Romsey, or you're attending us, or you ever have done, then you're welcome to listen to this. And if you just stumbled across this video on the internet, you're welcome to listen to it as well. Of course, we've had information from the government, also via all the denominational heads and heads of Christian networks, that really, because of the new national lockdown in England, we have also got to comply. So actually, since July, we've been having physical services at the church on a Sunday night. We had a Sunday morning one the other week, which is great, but we have been told, we've been advised to stop that now to the beginning of December. So I do apologise. There'll be no more meetings on a Sunday night or the midweek fellowship meetings we've been having occasionally, really now until the beginning of December. It's one of those things, we cannot change that. But what we can still do is interact like this. You can watch these videos. We have our Zoom prayer meeting on a Tuesday. Jackie and I will have Zoom pop-ins over the next few weeks that you can all pop in and say hi or share or pray. And it's still possible to open the church up for private prayer, but we're looking at how we're doing that at the moment and how we're going to do that. It's been a difficult year. It's been a challenging year and a strange year. And it's very easy to allow this to make us think, stuff it. I'm having nothing to do with meeting at church again, or my personal devotions will go down to nothing, and I just feel so discouraged. But I want to encourage you not to feel discouraged. One of the things we see in the Bible is that no matter how difficult it is or had got for people in personal circumstances, there was always a way out and a way through with God. Over these next few minutes, I just want to share a little message with you, as I always do on Midweek Connect, a message just to encourage you. My title is Don't Stop at Marah. When we see the journey of the Israelites through the Old Testament, particularly through the desert on their way to the Promised Land from Egypt, we see loads of ups and downs. And here's one particular one. I want to read from Exodus 15, verses 18 to 27. I may not read the whole lot, but most of it, but you'll hopefully get the gist. And just listen to this and take it on board. And I really hope this will encourage you at the moment. Verse 18, the Lord will reign forever, but for when the horses of Pharaoh with his chariots and horsemen went into the sea, the Lord brought back the waters of the sea upon them. But the people of Israel walked on dry ground in the midst of the sea. So they're even looking back at that now and thinking, look how God saved us then. And let's not forget how God has answered our own prayers, our own personal prayers at the 11th hour in the past. Verse 20, Miriam the prophetess, sister of Aaron, took a tambourine in her hand, and the woman went out with the tambourines dancing. And Miriam sang to them gloriously, sing to the Lord. He's triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider is thrown into the sea. God saved them, looked after them, and helped them. And I hope and pray that when we go into next year, the year after, and the year after, we will look back at 2020 and say, yeah, it was bleak, it was dark, but God was there in the middle of it with us. We'll go to verse 22. Then Moses made Israel set out from the Red Sea, and they went into the wilderness of Shur. They went 3 days into the wilderness and found no water. Can you imagine that? Going into the wilderness and finding no water in a desert land, in that climate, in heat. It must have been absolutely terrible. And they came to Marah. They couldn't drink the water of Marah because it was bitter. Therefore, they named it Marah. So they're going 3 days into the desert and they saw some water. Can you imagine them running towards that water thinking, my goodness, here's some water. It's going to taste fantastic. It's going to be lovely. And they tasted it and they couldn't drink it. And at that point, they lost heart. They completely lost heart. And I want to tell you now, it is easy to lose heart. Some of you have had words spoken over you, encouragements over you, prayers prayed over you at your baptism. Don't give up. I'm talking to teenagers as well who are part of our church or our church network. Don't give up. I'm talking to people of all ages. Don't give up. God still has a plan for you. Yes, we can't meet, but if you taste the bitter waters of Mara, things will change. I met with one of our leaders this morning and we had a chat. And, we just know, and I know deep inside, that we will be able to meet together as a church again properly, and the church will grow and God will fulfill all of his plans for our church, our fellowship, our community. It's going to happen again. I'm so confident over that. And these next 4 weeks can be a time whereby we think, okay, we've tasted the bitter waters of Mara again. Let's see what God does in the future. The people grumbled against Moses, verse 24, saying, what shall we drink? What shall we drink? People have said to me, I find it difficult coming to church with a mask on and stuff. And we can't even do that at the moment for the next 4 weeks. But I'm saying just try it out once and you'll see how God moves through services like that. But even if you're not prepared to do that, don't, and I respect whatever your point of view is, don't stop your personal devotions. Don't stop believing that God can use you. Tomorrow today there's a general election. In the United States of America, and I'm recording this on a Tuesday. By the time you watch it, you may know what the outcome of it is, and you may want one person to win or another person, but whoever is going to win, whether you consider that the bitter waters or a good thing, it doesn't matter. Whoever is going to win, God still has a purpose for you and for the church in that country and for you. They grumbled against Moses, saying, what shall we drink? He cried to the Lord, and the Lord showed him a log and threw it into the water. The water became sweet. And the Lord made for them a statute and a rule, and he tested them. And going down to verse 27, this is the bit I really encourage you with. Then they came to Elim, where there were 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees, and they encamped there by the water. In other words, they pushed on a little bit further, and they came to some delicious water, and God looked after them. And I want to talk to you about your own life as well. Keep believing. You've made all kinds of plans for your family, for your job, for everything. Just keep believing, keep pushing on. This November is going to be difficult for those who are used to regularly meeting in a church capacity. It's going to be difficult for students. It's going to be difficult for different people, but keep pushing on. God will be with us. I believe that palm tree, that place called Elim, where the palm trees could possibly have been put there supernaturally by God. Because nobody saw it. I mean, it was probably there before. Nobody saw it before it happened. So God might have put it there supernaturally, or it might have been there all along. We don't know. But what we do know is this, that when we continue to trust, continue to push forward with God, God always meets us when we trust him in humility. Look at the pattern here. God saves. They came over the Red Sea. God got them out of that difficult period of slavery that they were in and brought them over the Red Sea against the oppressing forces. And they worshipped God. And Miriam came along with this amazing, sort of poem, this song that she'd written, and worshipped God. And suddenly they taste bitter water again. And momentarily they forgot all the good things that God had done before. I want to say to you, has God done great things in your life? Yes, he has. Get some paper and pen out today and write down a list of all the prayers he has answered at the 11th hour. All those times when you've been crying all night long bitterly on your pillow and tears have flowed, and God has brought out an answer to your situation. Don't fall into the trap of complaining like they do, but believe them. In my life, I went through a very bitter period of depression in the middle of the 80s, but at the end of that year, I was crying out to God saying, God, if you're real, show yourself to me in some way. And God brought me across the path of some Christians who just introduced me to church. And I saw God in the character of these people, the love and the care. They invited me round for meals. You could back in those days because there was no COVID. Isn't it great to go around someone's house for a meal? It'd be lovely to get to do that again, wouldn't it? Or just go out for a meal at a restaurant. But they took me out to their houses for meals and looked after me and cared for me. And I thought, do you know what? In your character and in your behaviour and the life I see in you, I know God's real. And I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Saviour. Don't stop at Mara, but believe that God can grab hold of your situation and take you further. 4 weeks lockdown, yeah, it's going to be difficult, but keep looking for God in the little situations. Keep reading your Bible. And we'll be here again in this building meeting at some point. You know, I'll still be recording and other people will be. And we're recording literally just before the new lockdown, some carols and other things to play in our Christmas videos. God bless you. Let me pray for you. God, I pray for every single person watching this video today. I pray for your blessing on them. I pray that they know your presence, your comfort, and your direction through this difficult time. And we thank you for the fact that you are taking us from the bitter waters of Mara, and you will have the palm trees of Elim, the oasis there ahead, even before we know it. God bless you and have a good week. Thank you.